Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Craig Burrell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Sergeant Ben Reeves. We warmly welcome the family of Private Leslie Bode Muller, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Please be seated if you can do so. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the hearts of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Leslie Bode Muller. Leslie Muller was born on the 5th of October 1908 in Coonabarabran, New South Wales, the eldest son of James and Annie Muller. His father, a school teacher who taught at the town of Urundari for a long time, and the Muller family were descendants of a prominent Mudgee district pioneering family. Leslie grew up alongside his younger brother, Austin, and after his education worked as a bookkeeper. In 1935, he married Jessie Lowry in the Sydney suburb of Bankstown, and the pair had 2 children, a daughter Annette and a son Peter. Muller enlisted for service in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force in April 1940, by which point he had served in the militia for 3 years. After a period of pre-embarkation leave, he left Sydney on the 30th of August 1940, bound for the Middle East. During the sea voyage, Muller was appointed Lance Corporal. After arriving in Palestine at the end of September, he was promoted to Acting Corporal on the 1st of October, and in November and December he attended Weapon Training School. In early January 1941, Muller joined the newly formed 2nd 3rd Battalion. Reverting to the rank of private, he was marched out to the staging camp in Palestine, joining his unit on the 17th of January. The first battle of the war, involving an Australian Army formation, took place in January with the taking of the strongly held fortress of Bardia. The 2nd 3rd then advanced onto Brook. The attack began on the 21st of January, and by the end of the next day, Tobruk had fallen to the AIF, with some 25,000 Italians becoming prisoners. Private Leslie Bode Muller would not live to celebrate the victory. Killed in action during the first day of the assault, his remains were buried at Tobruk, but the following month were reburied at the Cromer Military Cemetery, where they lie today under the epitaph chosen by his grieving family, "O valiant heart, who to glory came." Leslie Bode was 32 years old. He left behind a grieving widow, a 4-year-old daughter and a 16-month-old son. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, among almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Leslie Bode Muller, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozieres or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial, and we wish you all a very good evening.